Hi, everyone. Good morning. Good early morning. I'm Stephanie, and I am excited to welcome you to day 3 of my Bookish yoga series, 24 days of Bookish yoga. Who am I and what is that? Well, I'm Stephanie, and I am a bookologist. And basically, that means that I explore the positive benefits that reading and writing can have on our lives. I also curate reading and writing experiences for other people. As part of that research, I have come to find yoga as a wonderful wellness tool that we can layer on top of our reading and writing to really bring us to great lengths of wellness and creativity and whatever it is we want in our lives. So I've created this challenge to help recommend a book to you in each of the days of the month of December and show up to practice my skills as a brand new yoga teacher. So did you know that just 6 minutes of reading a day can bring a host of benefits? It can calm our nervous systems, lower our heart rate, lower our breathing rate, decrease depression, increase happiness, fire off so many mirror neurons that help boost our problem solving and creativity. Just 6 minutes a day. Now, if we move all the way up to 30 minutes a day, we're really getting the benefits. And this is the piece of research that sparked me to finally get my yoga teacher training, which was this. 30 minutes of reading has the same impact on our parasympathetic nervous system as 30 minutes of yoga. Now, you don't get all the muscle benefits, but you do get the parasympathetic nervous system benefits. And so my work aims to blend reading, writing, and yoga together. Hence the challenge. So the book I have for you today, and if you don't know yet, if this is your first time here, I do have a wonderful book calendar that you can print with a holiday book recommendation for every day of the month. It looks so pretty if you print this out and stick it on your bulletin board or your refrigerator. But today's book recommendation is, forgot the fine print of the author. Oh, that's right. The Christmas Countdown by Holly Cassidy. I mean, an author named Holly who wrote a Christmas book? Yes, please. So here's the neat thing about this book. It is about a character whose life is not going so well. And when life isn't going so well around the holidays, it really feels like it's not going so well. And she's given up on a lot of things, including her holiday spirit. But her sister has other plans. And her sister makes this homemade Advent calendar for her. Not the kind where you open the door and you get your little piece of chocolate every day, but the kind where you challenge yourself to do something every day to get you out of your funk, which is exactly what her sister did. She created a homemade Advent calendar to try to get her sister back into her life and back into the holiday spirit. Because it is a holiday book, we can have a little disclaimer, a little warning that, spoiler alert, things work out pretty well without giving too much away. That's the beauty of these holiday books, is they usually come nicely full circle. And this one, I think, is a wonderful one to read and to think about. What kind of Advent calendar would you give yourself? What kind of Advent calendar would you give your loved one? That is a great notebook prompt that you might take with you today after our session. So, why am I in pajamas? Well, normally I go live at 7:30 in the morning so that I can build a consistent practice with whoever would like to show up. But people have to work, right? And so I will be on my commute today at 7:30 in the morning, but I still wanted to show up so that those of you who expected me to be here at 7:30 will find me. You just won't find me live. So it's 5 a.m. where I am in New York. And if I'm quite honest, I start my day every day between 4 and 5 a.m. And the very first thing I do is yoga. And I do it in my pajamas. If I had to change into yoga class, yoga pants, every single time I showed up to the mat, I probably wouldn't do it. And so today, because it's so early, I'm staying in my pajamas. And I'm showing you a practice today that is done completely on our backs. Right? We are not doing any twisty poses, any big flows. Sometimes you just need a restorative yoga session to get you ready for your day. And that's what I'm going to give you today. So maybe you're in your pajamas, maybe you're in your yoga pants and you're ready to go. Either way, let's come down to the mat, laying down in a nice, comfortable line. I'll move my calendar out of the way. Oh, the best kind of yoga is where you can just show up as you are and however you're feeling. And so I encourage you to just lay down and take a big good morning stretch, right? Whatever that looks like for you. Maybe you're bending and stretching your knees, twisting from side to side. Stretch those arms to one side of the room, the toes to the other side, and just feel that good morning stretch. Like you're here. You woke up today. Life is good. Stretch. Oh, and then just kind of come down and get comfortable. Fix my hair here. We're going to do today is some stretching starting on one side of the body and the other. It'll probably be like a 20-minute practice or so to just give us a restorative little boost. So let's start by having our knees just draw into our chest, nice and gently. This is so good for the low back. You might rock a little bit left to right. I love in my yoga practice, my yoga class starts on the mat laying down. It's so much easier to show up when you know that there's going to be a nice long runway to get you ready to do the things. So we're just rocking back and forth, giving ourselves a little bit longer than normal in these poses to wake ourselves up, get our joints going, get our ligaments and our tendons, get everything all warmed up. Roll your ankles one way or the other. I've even got my socks on today because I don't need to grip the mat. We're just laying on our backs. Alrighty, so let's put both of our feet down on the mat and let's just take one leg. Let's just take one leg up, and maybe you keep this left leg bent. I'm pulling my right knee, or maybe you stretch it down for a deeper stretch, depending on what you want today, and just hold it. Got both hands on your shin, really pulling it in close to your chest so you can feel it. You're likely feeling it in the leg that is bent down by the hip flexor, the top of the quad. But if your leg is straight, you're probably feeling it on the top of your straight leg as well. Just starting to get a nice little movement here. Maybe rock this leg that's bent left to right, just a little micro bends just to wake it up. Now I mentioned we'll be here just a little bit longer than typical poses. This is more of a restorative class where you're just moving to make your body feel good, moving to wake it up, moving to calm it down. So we're just going to stay in the pose for one more breath. Deep breath in and out. And now I want you to keep this leg bent, but I want you to raise it up. Pull my socks down. Raise it up, and you can put one hand on the back of the quad, one hand on the calf if you'd like, and just bend and stretch. Now, depending on when you're practicing, like me, it's early in the morning. I got to get my sea legs. So I'm not as flexible as I am first thing in the morning. None of us are. And so this is just a way to wake us up. So bend and stretch. You can feel the stretch. You might even feel a little tired. Those muscles are working in a different direction than they normally do. Let's do one more bend and stretch. And when you are there at the top, just go ahead and hold the leg up. It can be bent generously like this, if that's where you need to be. Maybe you want to try to straighten. Maybe you're holding it just on the back of your leg. Maybe you're holding it above the knee at the calf. Maybe you're all the way up. The pose doesn't matter. It's how it feels in your body, especially in the morning. And so we'll just hang out here for a second. If it feels better, you can always bring that knee up. It certainly helps the stretch on that right leg. I'm going to go ahead and keep mine down flat. Depending on how tight you are, depending on what you're working with, you might even feel a little bit of a shake right here in this static stretch. Go ahead and point and flex your toes. I always feel this one, back of my leg, my calf. Bend and flex. Let's do that just 1 or 2 more times. And then reach your right hand up and grab the outside of your right foot. Right, so now your knee is really bent in. You're grabbing the right side of that foot and you're just kind of pulling it down. So now your knee is getting closer to your chest than it did before. And maybe you stay here. And if you'd like a little bit more of a stretch, you can go ahead and pull it down towards your shoulder so that your hip is opening up. Depending on how flexible you are, this may feel really good. This may not feel so good. So just take it as far as you need it to go. Take a nice big deep breath while you're here throughout this whole practice, really. Again, breathe into those parts that feel tight. Imagine them feeling looser. All right, we're going to slowly bring our knee back up to center. You can let go and just pull your knee back into your chest again. You might find that you can now move it a little bit closer because you are a little bit more stretched out. Take your left hand, put it on the outer right side of your thigh, and slowly pull your leg over for a spinal twist. So your leg is going to fall to the left side, right, of your body. Your right arm is going to go out straight. And if you can, go ahead and turn your head to the back side of the room. You want to keep your shoulder down on the mat as much as you can. So if your leg doesn't touch the floor, that's not our goal. Our goal is to just feel that stretch in your back, in your side back, maybe in your shoulders. Let's just take a couple of deep breaths here at our own pace. Every time you take a deep breath in, imagine that breath filling whatever place feels the tightest. And then release it out. One more deep breath. And release it out. Slowly come back. Let's bring the left foot back up to meet the right where both of our knees are hugging. And let's start the whole sequence over to move to the other side. Let's just rock back and forth. Maybe you rock a little bit further side to side. I bet you one side feels a little bit different than the other. Every morning for me starts with some sort of yoga practice. I've got a lot of joint issues, a lot of connective tissue issues, and it just feels so good to do this gentle yoga in the morning. All right, let's move to the other side. We're going to keep our left leg bent this time, close to us. And you can either rest your right leg down, knee bent, or go ahead and stretch it all the way out. And let's just hold our knee in this position. I have new jammies on today. These are Laura Ashley jammies, and oh my gosh, they are so thick and comfortable. I'm pretty happy laying here on the mat and laying on this thick pajama pant. Whatever you have on, I hope you are as comfortable. Let's just move this knee, little micro movements back and forth, left and right. Feel it in the joint. Maybe you feel this stretch on the outside of your hip. Maybe you feel it on the top of the leg. Keep breathing. Keep micro moving. You can play around with where you have your other leg. Does it mean you have to do it the same on this side? Both sides are different. All right, so now we're going to extend that leg up. Fix the sock. Extend that leg up and decide where you want to hold on to your leg. Do you want to hold on to it in the back of your thigh, above your knee at your calf, or maybe even down at your ankle? Maybe this is when you move your leg back up. Maybe you keep it back down. And just put enough pressure so that you're holding your leg up until you feel that edge, until it feels good where you feel that stretch. Maybe you play around and you change it, right? You come down. Maybe you try to straighten it. Maybe you feel some of that shake, that early morning stretching. I know I do. And always on this leg, it is always the left side for me that is tighter. A couple of deep breaths here. Okay, let's start flexing our foot. When you flex your toes down towards your head, you likely feel that stretch more in your hamstring and the back of your leg. And then pointing, you feel it up in that top of that foot area, front of the calf, those shins. Such a good way to get up and get your body moving without ever getting off your yoga mat. All right, so now take your left hand and slowly reach it up to the outside of your foot. Grab the outside of your foot if you can. If not, you can just hang on to wherever you are able to access and pull that leg down a little bit. So now your knee is bent. It's back into the chest again, right? We were here. Now we're here. Feeling it in a slightly different spot of the leg. Nice deep breaths into the area that needs it. Again, play with your leg. If it needs to come up, that's fine too. And then slowly pull that leg, that knee down and to the outside so that it's kind of nestled in your shoulder a bit and you're feeling it more in your hips, maybe your inner thighs, and just pull it down. You might have two hands here to help. Maybe your hands are here. Again, the pose doesn't matter. It's how it feels. It's how you're waking your body up in this really restorative session. You can sway a little bit if you'd like. Try to pull that into your shoulder a little bit more if you can. Nice deep breath. And out. Audible breaths in the morning are so good. They wake you up and calm you down all at the same time. So let's bring our knee back to center. Let's pull it back into our chest. Again, I bet you that feels a little bit different than the first time you pulled it in. Keep those shoulders heavy on the mat. Nice deep breath in. And really blow it out. All right, we are going to roll. So take your right hand, outer side of your left leg, and just pull it over for a nice supine twist. Again, your knee does not have to go to the ground. In fact, it probably won't. Keep your left shoulder down on the mat. You can put your left arm out for support. Keep your right hand on top of your leg as a little bit of weight. And breathe. Breathe deeply here. Feel wherever it feels tight. Take another deep breath, imagining the breath going right to that place. For me, it's always that outer hip, that low back. Take another deep breath. And out. Oh, I love those final twists. Okay, come back to center. Scoop that other knee up and let's just take A little counter twist on both of them. Knees up again, a little rolling back and forth. I remember what my next move was. Now go ahead and take your knees and plop them on the ground. Like really feel them. Do it again. Plop them on the ground. Right? This is a restorative practice, but just that quick movement, feeling it on the mat, it can ground us in what's next. When your feet are there, I want you to open up your knees and put your heels, your soles together, and just let your legs fall out. This is a cobbler's pose, laying down, right? We did this yesterday if you were with me, or maybe it was the day before. Your hands can rest wherever you'd like. Maybe one is on your heart, one is on your belly. Both can be on your front body. Maybe you have them on your legs, giving yourself just a teeny bit more pressure to open them up. Or maybe they're on the mat, wherever it feels good to you today. We're going to take a couple of deep breaths here and really sink into this pose. This is a great hip opener. Maybe you feel a little bit in your back too. We've just got a neutral back. Let's take a deep breath in. And let's hold it at the top just for a second before we let go. Okay, let's do it together. I don't know how much my microphone picks up. My stomach's growling. It's time for breakfast. Let's do another deep breath in, hold at the top, and then let it go. Really feel your belly rise on that in-breath, and let's do one more. Go ahead and take your hands and help close your knees back up. Just kind of snuggle your low back into the ground. Neutral position is where you're just laying and you're not really trying to do much. You can feel that little space underneath the small of your back. Let's go ahead and press our back into the mat so that there is no space. We're really activating our core and our front body here. We're going to move into bridge pose. So you want to shuffle your heels up so that if you were to move your fingers, you'd be able to tickle the back of your legs, or the back of your heels. You've got that nice flat back on the mat, and you're just going to slowly, one vertebrae at a time, lift up and roll your back up until you're at the top in a nice bridge pose. Okay, and now slowly roll back down. Hopefully this feels good after having our backs flat on the mat and doing that work with our legs. Let's keep going. You can do it at your own pace, but be nice and slow. This is a very gentle, restorative, it's 5 a.m. and I just need to wake my body up kind of practice. I think my next yoga teacher training will probably be yin, because I love holding poses for a little bit longer in these restorative ways. It's just so good for the muscles, so good for all those connective tissues that seem to give me trouble. So if you like this kind of restorative practice, let me know in the comments. What kind of practices do you want in this 24-day challenge? I already have the books planned because I'm a bookologist. I know the books I want to recommend. But the yoga, I plan day by day. It's so much fun creating yoga sequences and taking requests and making personalized videos. We've got a low back video coming up because of a request, so I'd love to know what you would like more of. Now, as you're doing this bridge pose, you might find it's a little bit easier to get up a little bit higher as we're waking our body up. Let's do one more bridge pose like this, and then let's just hold at the top for a couple of seconds. All right, we're holding at the top. Think of this bridge pose as a bridge to our day. We're going to move off the mat soon into our day. And I'd love for you to think about an intention that you would like to have. Go ahead and clasp your hands, if you'd like, underneath your back. Snuggle your shoulders underneath yourself a little bit more. Now you'll feel this as a hip opener as well, stretching the shoulders, feeling it a little bit more potentially in the neck. What intention do you have for your day? As we're in bridge pose, thinking about bridging from the mat to our actual day, you have a word that you could hold on to. If it feels good, you can move your neck a little bit side to side. And release your arms, put your hands back down on the mat and come back down. I know we held that for a long time. Go ahead and give a little counter stretch, stretch those knees in. Really hug yourself on this one and move side to side. My one word intention today is festive. And if I'm honest, it's my one word intention for the whole month, because that's what I do. I choose one word intentions for the month. But today I believe we're getting our Christmas tree, as long as everybody's head colds have disappeared. All right, it is time to sit up, right? We have to get on with our day. So we do have to move from this laying position at some point. So you get up, whatever feels right for you. Maybe you lean over to the side, you push yourself up, or maybe you rock yourself up in an attempt to get up a little bit faster. Fix the hair a little bit. Okay, so we are back up, sitting in our Sukhasana easy seat position. Hopefully your legs, your hips feel really good sitting here now because we've stretched them out. Let's go ahead and take a deep breath and raise our arms overhead. And back down. One more time. And hands down in front. We're going to take a nice, easy spinal twist sitting up before we end our practice today. So let's stretch our spine up nice and tall. Deep breath in. And as you let your deep breath out, go ahead and move your left hand to the back of your mat. And the right hand moves here. Again, wherever you feel that tightness this morning, just imagine the breath going there. Mine is my low back. Take a nice deep breath in, and as you exhale, twist just a tiny bit deeper. And let it all out. Come back to center, and let's repeat that movement. Let's take one deep breath in the center to center ourselves up. And out. And now the right hand will move behind us. The left hand will go to the outside of your right knee. And we'll do a nice, easy twist looking to the right of the room. Nice deep breath in. And out. Again, imagine that breath going wherever it needs to go in your body this morning as you wake yourself up. Deep breath in. And as you deep breath out, twist just a little bit deeper, if that feels good to you. All right, let's come back to center. A couple of shoulder rolls. Think about that word you thought of in bridge pose again. Hang on to that practice today. Let's take one more deep breath in, arms up. And pull them down. So as a reminder today, your book, The Christmas Countdown by Holly Cassidy, if you are looking for a fun, delightful read of how an Advent calendar could help change someone's Christmas spirit and perhaps change their life, then I think that could be a good book for you to pick up in this holiday season. And remember, we have a notebook prompt I gave you too. You only need 3 to 4 sessions of 15 to 20 minutes of expressive writing, which is basically writing from your heart in your notebook, to start to get benefits to your immune system. So the reading you do this month, the writing, the notebooking, the journaling you do this month, it can boost your immunity and calm your nervous system down in this busy holiday season. So I encourage you to do both today. I am going to sign off, grab my cup of coffee, and grab my book for a little bit of reading before my house starts to wake up. I hope that you do the same. Thanks so much for showing up for day 3 of Bookish Yoga. And I will see you tomorrow at our regular 7:30 time. That time, I'll be in my yoga clothes for you, and we will do more of a warm up, get up and meet the day yoga flow. Thanks, everyone. See you tomorrow.